So my opinion on cannibalism is a lot like my opinion on necrophilia. I feel like as long as the family allows it, there's honestly no harm, no foul. Like if the family signs off, they sign a paper saying, okay, you could eat my daughter's dead body or you could, squeeze my son's dead penis. I think it's okay. Generally speaking, I think that's allowed as long as the family's okay with it and you don't kill them to achieve that purpose. I think necrophilia and I think cannibalism is totally fine. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Joe Levy experiment. Today, we're going to be taking a slower step down. We're going to be putting on our thinking caps here. We're going to be answering the deep and unsettling philosophical question in a very biting episode of the Joe Levy experiment. Let's discuss, is cannibalism wrong? Is cannibalism amoral? Is cannibalism allowed? And is cannibalism something we should celebrate in society? Okay, so you heard my little opening monologue there about what my current feelings are about cannibalism. So now let's delve in deeper to the topic. Now, before we look on Wikipedia and do a nice deep dive on cannibalism, we have to set some ground rules. Okay, so let's first define what is wrong. Now, this could already open up another deep and philosophical question about morality. Is morality objective? Where does morality come from? Does morality come from God? Is morality something innate within our human selves? Or is morality just a figment of our imagination? Is morality not even real at all? Okay, just like your one friend who had a girlfriend that went to a different school. Is morality a fake? Is morality a fake girlfriend that you're still jealous of even though it's a fake girlfriend? Because at least your friend had the confidence to make up the fact that he had a fake girlfriend, not like you. Okay, so we're going to be defining what wrong is for the sake of this episode. So for the sake of this episode, for the sake of cannibalism argument, let's define what is wrong. So I have defined wrong into three categories. So wrong is something that is bad and that can be avoided. So something that is bad and that can be avoided. Now, what is bad? It's another, I don't want to get too Jordan Peterson here with, oh, what is bad and bad, oh, bad and Batman, oh. Dude, by the way, quick fun fact, I was right about Jordan Peterson. I made a video a year ago about how Jordan Peterson is a fraud, and oh, now everybody, he accepts he's a fraud. Now you watch him on Jubilee getting destroyed by 30 liberals, and you realize he's a fraud. But when I say it, nobody listens to me. Maybe you should have listened to me when I made a video calling Jordan Peterson a fraud. You should have understood that I was right. So when I say something, you have to understand that I'm actually right about it. Okay. So bad is something that can be avoided and is wrong. Number two, something that is overly selfish. Something that is overly selfish can be wrong. Now, we all have to be selfish to survive, right? Surviving in itself is an exaggeration of the ego and it's exaggeration of the self, which is in its nature being selfish. However, being overly selfish, being exaggeratedly selfish, that is what you get into a morality term. Okay, now, so we have, something that is wrong and can be avoided, being overly selfish, and I think three is an important one. Three, how to know something is wrong. It's something you would tell a kid not to do. Right? Now, there are exceptions, right? You would also tell a kid not to drink alcohol, but drinking alcohol is not necessarily amoral, but something you would teach your kid, like, don't steal, don't hit other kids, right? You would teach your kid to defend himself. However, you would also teach your kid, if there's a little kid, just don't step on his toes, right? Don't do anything wrong. So you would see a kid, you would slap his face, like, don't do that, right? Okay. So we understand my original opinion on cannibalism. We understand what wrong is as defined for this video. Now let's go ahead. Let's take a deep dive. It could be a dip dive also, Cannibalism is a rather large topic, so let's actually call it a dip dive. Let's not say we're doing a deep dive here, because I don't want to consider myself a cannibalism expert here. I don't want, who's that guy again, to be like, have you been there? Have you aided a person? So I don't want that guy, Douglas Murray, to call me a fraud here. So let's not say we're doing a deep dive. Let's not call ourselves experts here. Let's go ahead and just read the Wikipedia article for cannibalism, and let's decide for ourselves. At the end of this video, let's decide, is cannibalism wrong? Okay. So, let's read in the origins of cannibalism. So something interesting here I discovered is that there can be origins of cannibalism linked back to Egypt, which makes me think, is that what the pyramids are all about? People from the beginning of time have been trying to figure out the mystery of the pyramids. Who built the pyramids? Where the pyramids come from? Are pyramids ancient technology? No. The pyramids are a food pyramid. So the pyramids this whole time in ancient Egypt have actually been a food pyramid. And what's on top of the food pyramid? Human beings. Human beings are on top of the food pyramid. So it goes seed oils, vegetables, sour gushers, human beings. Human beings have been on top of the food pyramid the entire time, okay? Which is very interesting, okay? That solves the mystery of the pyramids. You were supposed to eat people the entire time. Okay. Very interesting. So we know that, by the way, on a serious note, cannibalism here can be traced back to a bunch of different places. Can be traced back to Egypt. It's saying here ancient Rome. It's saying the Caribbean islands, right? So cannibalism has actually, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like it's kind of always been around. You know, one of those things. It's kind of like the yo-yo. You know, it's kind of this ancient tradition that's always been around, right? Okay, great. So that was a nice little, cute little food pyramid joke there. Let's move on. Now, what's actually interesting, here's what's actually problematic about cannibalism. Oh, by the way, for this episode, we're going to be focusing on human cannibalism, specifically human on human cannibalism, right? So the reason for that is because I think it makes more sense, because there is certain cannibalism, because we defined what right and wrong is. Let's define what cannibalism is. So cannibalism can be described as basically eating your own species, right? So cannibalism is you're eating your own species. Now, spiders also engage in cannibalism. The black widow spider, to be specific, which is a female, does engage in cannibalism, right? Which I have to think that has to be, right now, we're currently in what's known as fourth wave feminism, right? Feminism has gone through a lot of waves in its lifetime. It's like a surfer. Boop, 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 boop. However, I feel we're right now in the fourth wave of feminism. However, I feel like fifth wave feminism will be women giving birth to babies and then eating them. That is going to be what fifth wave feminism is. It's going to be being like, yo, you go girl, you eat your baby, you eat that guy. And it's going to be women eating their babies in a stadium of people cheering. Yay, let's go baby, eat the baby. Yeah, you got to eat the baby. It always comes back to eating the baby. Okay, so we're only be focusing on human cannibalism. Now, the first problematic thing about cannibalism is cannibalism was actually used as a tool of racism, right? Cannibalism was part of the reason and part of the justification for the genocide of the Native Americans, right? We see this a lot with genocide. People will justify, oh, those people are animals, you could kill them. No. You still can't kill them. They're still people, right? So in the genocide of the Native Americans, cannibalism was used as a tool, as in saying, hey, we could kill these people. They eat people, so we have to kill them. Which, by the way, doesn't even make any sense. You're gonna say we have to kill these people because they kill and eat people? Dude, at least they're eating them. If somebody was gonna kill me, I would rather they kill and eat me than just kill and not eat me. It's like, bro, you're basically making me go to waste, right? So you might as well kill me. You might as well eat me if you're gonna kill me. So really, justification in itself does not. It just shows how ridiculous the whole argument is of using cannibalism as a way to kill people by saying they're lesser than, because like, bro, you might as well put some salt and pepper on me. If you're going to kill me, you might as well get a good meal of it and leave a review, okay? Make sure to leave a 5-star review if you're going to kill and eat me. You know what I mean? So cannibalism was used as a way to justify racism and a way to justify killing people by saying, oh, they're animals, they kill people. Okay, so now let's discuss. There's 3 specific types of cannibalism I want to get into here, right? That I want to take a deep dive into. So the first type of cannibalism is going to be called, exo-cannibalism. So exo-cannibalism is exo-cannibalism, like exoskeleton, but exo-cannibalism. Exo-cannibalism is basically when you would kill and eat your enemy. So it was a way of asserting dominance on your opponent. The same way in Call of Duty, how you would shoot someone and then teabag on them and hump their dead body as a way of asserting dominance. The same way a tiger will pee on a tree to mark its territory, such as exocannibalism was used in a way of war. It was used in a way of intimidation. It was used, honestly, sometimes as a way of survival, as in, hey, resources are scarce, so we're going to kill our opponent and then eat them. Which, again, I want to say, for the record, I am in favor of that. I think if somebody kills me, I would rather them kill and eat me. Okay, great. So that's the first form. It's from exocannibalism. Let me know what you guys think about exocannibalism in the comment section down below. Okay, right? So it was used as just a way of like, you know, we're dominant, we're coming in, we're going to take your men, we're going to take your women, we're going to eat them no matter what. And just, it's a very violent, it might be the most, let's say, brutal form of cannibalism, which is exocannibalism, which is, you know, killing your opponent and then eating them, you know, sparing no expense, making a beautiful meal out of it. Okay, now, my favorite form of cannibalism is endocannibalism. Endocannibalism is when somebody from your family or your community eats you. So exocannibalism is defined as somebody from outside your community eating you. Endocannibalism is described as somebody inside your community eating you. Now imagine your family eating you. Endocannibalism, you know, it's basically your family cooking and eating you. Like, that is so weird. Could you imagine you and your sister, your father dies, and you have a fight over who gets the drumstick? Like, you and your sister have to have a fight. Like, no, Dad, like me the best. I want the drumstick. And your sister's like, no, I want the drumstick. And now, at your dad's funeral, you're fighting over who gets the juiciest and tender part of your father who spent his whole life trying to support your family. That is just a crazy thing, right? So almost imagine it. What would you rather? Would you rather be cannibalized by somebody inside your community or be cannibalized by somebody outside your community? I'm going to say I think I prefer endocannibalism. I think I'm more of an endocannibalism girly, where I would rather somebody inside my community eat me rather than somebody outside my community eat me. Kind of like I'm giving back to the people who gave to me in my life. Okay, so we went over exocannibalism, we went over endocannibalism. Now let's go into the more tricky form of cannibalism when it comes to morality, and that is autocannibalism. So autocannibalism can be defined as a person's eating oneself, right? So now this kind of is one of the lesser practiced form of cannibalism. It's about somebody eating themselves. Now this can be, it's kind of like self-harm. It's kind of like a way of people going crazy. It's not something that people are proud of, right? People are proud. There's a whole flag for it, for exocannibalism, for endocannibalism. Those are more ritualistic. Like those are more like, they have more, you know, history. They're more performative, right? There's a more lore to them. Autocannibalism is more of people going crazy. It's kind of taboo. Autocannibalism is kind of taboo in the world of cannibalism, right? So even in the world of cannibalism, some things are taboo within themselves. Autocannibalism, right? It kind of reminds me of that old joke I made up when I was a kid, which was, you know, what type of books do cars read? Autobiographies. So kind of like, what kind of books do cars eat? Autocannibalism in a certain way, right? So I feel like autocannibalism, like, listen, if you're going to cut off your pinky and eat it, okay, I get it. You know, I get that out of curiosity. Okay, you want to cut off one pinky, two pinkies, but once you cut your seventh pinky, it's like, okay, enough already. You tried it, you know, time to move on to your next phase of life. Okay, so we went over the three main types of cannibalism. Now here's something interesting, right? Even though we mentioned how there's taboo inside the cannibalism community, there's also favorite parts of the body, right? So the liver is known as a good part, the heart is known as a good part, and believe it or not, the breast is even seen as a very favorable part of cannibalism, regardless of the gender. So the gender could be male or female, but it's most likely female. So imagine that. Even as a dead body, women are still being sexually harassed. That is crazy. Wow. So in conclusion here, I think that endocannibalism is immoral. I think autocannibalism is immoral. And I guess exocannibalism you might as well eat me. So honestly, at the end of this video, I'm going to say yes. I think cannibalism, as long, I agree with my original statement, right? We wanted to read over and see if I would change my original statement. Honestly, no. If anything, I feel stronger about this more than ever. I think cannibalism is morally justified. Now, it's answer the age-old question. If you are on a deserted island, someone, is it morally right to kill them and eat them? I'm going to say yes. I do think that cannibalism is morally justified. Now, it's disgusting. It's icky. So I think that if we're going to go back to our original rules here, right, we said that doing something wrong is something that can be avoided. So, you know what? Actually, Okay, you definitely would teach a kid not to kill and eat someone. So number 3, it definitely fails. Can it be avoided? So I would say in this situation, something bad that can be avoided, I don't see it as overly selfish. I don't see it as overly selfish. Okay, how this? I think it is wrong in the first criteria. The first criteria was, can it be avoided? Something wrong that can be avoided. Yes. It is something bad that can be avoided. However, so in the first criteria, it is wrong. In the second and third, in terms of being overly selfish, I don't see it as overly selfish. Right? And I think, is it something you teach a kid not to do? It depends on the society. I guess it depends on the society. Okay, you know what? Let's come back to it for a second. I guess right now I'm still kind of in a pickle. Is it wrong? Something interesting I figured out. You guys know the expression, throwing the baby out with the bathwater? That is actually a cannibalistic expression. Throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's not like some guy being wise, like, you know, let's say you bomb one time on stage and you're like, oh, on a quick comedy, so it's like, come on, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like someone like, no, don't throw the baby out the bathwater. No, what are you doing? You're gonna throw the baby out the bathwater. Oh my God, don't do that. I was about to eat him. Dude, I was about to eat that baby. What are you doing? So it's actually not of a wise expression as you think it is. Like you think, oh, don't throw the baby out the bathwater, or some wise old guru like, oh, don't cry over spilled milk. He's like, no. Dude, what are you doing? Don't throw that baby out with the bathwater. Okay, so honestly, according to my 3 rules I set out, what is wrong? Wrong is something that is bad that can be avoided. Wrong is being overly selfish. And wrong is something you would teach a kid not to do. So let's start. I definitely would say do not teach kids to be cannibals. Is it being overly selfish? I would say no, but I would say it can be avoided. So I think 2 out of 3, it is not wrong. Cannibalism is morally justifiable as long as you're not killing someone to specifically eat them in a way that can be avoided, right? Like, I guess, I don't know, man. It really is, interesting. You know what? I'm going to go with my gut here. I'm going to say no. Cannibalism is not wrong. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the experience. God bless you and have a safe day.